Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be talking about XRP, jumping down into the price action, what's been going on most recently, what we think is likely to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, smash that like button, I really do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, check it out, linked in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. Let's just jump right down into this round. So this is just where I kind of record the videos, and we just find the right timestamp on this one. It was actually down here. So I will just go ahead and throw this back on just so that we know exactly where I put these videos out on YouTube. So there we go. So it's this one, 1600. It's between these two candles down here. On the 22nd. Okay, cool. So the last video that we had was basically the pump was just starting. So it probably was this candle just here. And we are looking at this move to the upside. It looks like we're coming towards completion. I'm going to jump into the data in a second to take a look at that. Time before that was a brief price update. We're expecting a slight push down before we continued upwards. And of course, our pump was starting from down here. We can kind of see these two videos that we put out. So I'm keeping track of the videos like this just to kind of remove some of the FUD and the noise that's in the comment sections. You know, understand what I'm talking about in these videos. If you don't, join us in Discord and we can try to help you understand it a little bit more. Detail, it can sometimes be a little bit complex, but for the most part, it's reasonably quite straightforward once you know what you are looking at. So there, let's go ahead and move on. We're going to jump into three different types of charts. We've got smart money concepts, edit wave theory, and then a macro view. So we'll start over here with the edit wave theory, right? So this is the move to the upside that we're talking about. The high range being 50 to 54.64 on the high side. Now we're on the daily chart here, right? And it's paired up with Tether. So the prices may fluctuate and depending on the stable coin that you're using or whether it's fiat that you're using. And of course, this is Binance data, which may vary depending on the exchange that you're using. And as you can kind of see, we had this three-way structured move to the upside. We've met the minimum expectation. We don't have to go up any higher than what we see here. However, the expectation is still that we can push up into that range just marginally before we do have that corrective action to the downside. So the expectations here are very much still that we're in this long position, right? And if you were following the video with everything that we've been talking about, then you would know that, you know, essentially if you're able to kind of pick it up from that low side. In fact, if I come over into, I think it's this one, yeah, this one here. Let me just move that there. We can obviously acknowledge that we were talking about this on the 12th of March, right? And when we're talking about a pump will be coming and a pump's coming again, we talk about that on the 17th of March. So if we just focus down here on the 12th of March, come over to our daily chart and find the 12th of March on here. That's going to be around about here, right? So we're talking specifically about this move coming up here, right? So if we were able to jump in on that with our long position at the correct time, let's hypothetically say we didn't get in until the top of that day right there, we would have put our stop loss on the swing low, which would have been this one just over here. So we'd just put that down there and we would be targeting out that high right up there. Now we're still technically in profit even if we're still in this trade, and you know, we'd be looking at maybe managing our expectations, right? This is a high risk reward ratio of 4.36, right? Anything above 3, you're golden, right? So you could even be trying to target this out as 3 and you could have closed your trade at 3.0, right? And that would be around here. And you would see that if I just expand this over here, get rid of this a little bit, you can see that you would have hit profit, it would have wicked all the way back down again, right? So I love a 3.0 risk reward ratio. Not only do you stack your account correctly that way, and what I mean by this is you're able to grow your account quite dramatically with actually having a majority of losing trades. You only need a handful of really successful trades at a 3.0 risk reward ratio to continuously grow your account, right? I think it's like 70% of your trades could lose with a risk reward ratio of 3.0 and you would grow your account. So a 30% win rate is all you would actually need to grow your account on a risk reward ratio of 3.0. So if you got a good risk reward balance, and you can kind of see how these things play out, going long on the market, specifically when we put that video out down here on the 12th, even if you caught it a little bit on the higher side on the 17th, for example, that would put us right around here. So again, we'll use the same stop loss scenario here. So we'll enter in on the close position. We put our stop loss just down on the swing low, and then we would go ahead and target out 3.0, and it would be right about here, just a little bit more. There, right? And we would see that even this one coming in on the 17th would have hit profit, right? And we would have been able to exit out of the trade. Going for the higher range target is kind of the typical movement, but not a guarantee, right? And you can see that we've fallen short of this at the moment. It is still technically possible that we do hit this target briefly before we actually do finish the structure, but I would start to be a little bit nervous if we start to come down lower than 34.73 cent, because it would just completely break out of its structure at that point to the downside. Okay, and we know that we are on a bigger macro bearish movement to the downside overall, and this is just a quick pump to the upside before we have our corrective action down. Okay, so just keep a close eye on it. The potential is there, but if we're in the trade and we're in profit, I'm really not too fussed about kind of coming out a little bit early on those trades and dealing with that. Now, for those people who are actively trading, why not check out 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, linked in the description down below. It's a fantastic platform that offers both spot and leverage-based trading, USDT margins, USDC margins, and so forth. They do some fantastic offers, such as the cashback offer that they're offering at the moment. Deposit $50 USDT, get $10 USDT cashback, and they do deposit and reward bonuses all the way up to $8,000 depending on how much you deposit and the trading volume that you do on the platform. Above and beyond those two things, we also have weekly competitions that we are managing down in our Discord server, and we use 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 to kind of deal with all the ROI percentage basis stuff. Basically, what this means is you sign up with the link in the description down below and basically fund $500 into your margin account. And you can click and register for the competition, and the one person with the highest ROI percentage gains in the week will basically win $100 USDT. And again, that's something that we're funding, and we'd like to grow this. We'd like to get it to $1,000 a week and then $10,000 a week and so forth. But for that, we need to see a lot more participants coming in into it, because we do want it to kind of pay for itself overall. So yeah, if that sounds of interest to you, you're actively trading, why not trade on 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 using our link in the description below and take part in the weekly competitions. This one's got one more day left on it. It gets reset on Monday. And again, you'll be in for another opportunity to kind of participate in the weekly competitions down in the Discord server. So check that out. Otherwise, if you're not really interested in the competition side of things, but just looking for a really good solid platform to trade on, check out 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, linked in the description below. It's where I do all my trading nowadays. I'm tired of the scam wicks that you see on other platforms. So let's come back down into smart money concepts, right? So we know that Elliott wave theory is kind of reaching its higher range expectations. We can see that also in here on smart money concepts. Okay, now with smart money concepts, we can see there's a lot of different things going on, but in a nutshell, we have these kind of notes, which are change of character. This basically means that we've gone from a bearish situation to a bullish situation on this daily chart. We have something called a BOS, or break of structure, here and here. These are actually more what I would call a CTS, a continuation of the trend structure, right? So continuation trend structure. I think essentially what we're looking at here is a idea that this is still bullish for the kind of immediate time frame. So it's bullish now. I don't know how long that's going to last, though, because we are, as I said, almost at those higher range expectations, right? Now, outside of just our structure points, we can also see that we have a weak high at the moment, so we could still push up higher. That gets us into our 50 to 54 cent range, right? The actual target range that we've been talking about. And we have a strong low at the moment. We are above equilibrium, but there is this fair value gap left behind here. This imbalance in the order book is created from a large order that comes in at the low side. And in this gap that is left behind, this little green area right here, there's insufficient selling for the buying to take place. And so price jumps to where the sellers are. So essentially, if someone wants to buy XRP, they buy it, try to put their large order in here. No sellers at this particular price point, so price jumps to where they are selling it right here, and it leaves this gap behind. This gap is important because that imbalance in the order book is an indication that this particular order here couldn't be filled at the price that was desired. So they stop, they turn that money tap off, these smart money, they turn it off, and they wait for price to gravitate back down before turning it back on again. Okay, they want to buy here, but they couldn't. That's why these gaps are so vitally important. So as price moved up, it cools off, it comes back down. Okay, so these gaps have a tendency to get filled out. Now, when we take a look at this, we can see that we still have the support level of the 50 EMA. Actually, no, that's a 200 EMA, sorry, just here. We can see that it was previous resistance. We pushed through it with this institutional help, this smart money help right here, pushed through that 200 EMA, and we're trying to find it as a support level, okay? That's currently where it sits at the moment. We are, of course, going to have to see how this kind of goes, but for me right now, I think that we have the ability to push up, but I wouldn't personally risk it for the few extra percentage points. Instead, I'll be waiting for confirmation that we can now short the market, and we'll be looking at it through that lens, right? Now, as I take a look at it from here, we can see that this is a Z wave structure that we're actually tracking, and this is just the B wave move of that. So if we think of this as an A, B, C structure, we are looking to come on down, okay? So that's kind of where we sit with it. So we know we want to short the market, but we're waiting for the ideal time to do it. Now, we could, of course, jump in a short position on market value right now. We could put our stop loss above our X wave high here, and we could put our take profit just down here somewhere. Again, we'll be looking for a decent risk reward ratio, and it doesn't really sit there at the moment. We haven't got a good entry. We'd have to be far too deep to get a good R&R. So personally, I would wait for a much better entry on the short position, but I do think there is a short position here to be had. And the other concern that I have is we haven't broken this low at 28.72 yet, so until that happens, we're going to end up in a really interesting position as well, where this could still push up higher than this current swing high. So I don't want to put in a short position like this, right? We'll make this nice and deep at like 3.0 over here, where we'd have to see price come down to 14 cents with this really wide daily gap for the stop loss, right? And the reason for that is we can still wick up higher, and we could still look at this X wave as something that hasn't completed and do this and completely wipe us out. So we don't want to do that until we get the idea of confirmation that we're actually in a slightly better position to do so. Okay, so as I said, we can still push up slightly higher here. It does look like we are exhausting ourselves though, so I do think this is something that is going to happen, but I'd personally be waiting for a better entry before I start shorting the market on XRP. So essentially that's kind of where we sit with this one at the moment. It does look like we have a little bit of a potential move to the upside, but I am concerned that we're exhausting it and we're about to kind of come back out. If we're in profit, probably going to just close those trades and not worry about it. Likewise, when it comes to shorting, we want to be as close as we can and make a nice tight stop loss. We don't want to be giving ourselves a lot of room to bleed out. So essentially, we want to wait until we are slightly higher before shorting. And if we do get a reversal now and we start to move on down, we're going to be looking for a good entry point on a short position rather than just kind of FOMOing in. Okay, so for the most part, it looks like XRP has been performing okay over the last few days. I say few days, pretty much since I was able to luck out and get a 30-cent entry, as I had a buy order at 30 cents on Binance. But we've been going up for 82 days. It's not too bad. And, you know, we can start to think about maybe starting to cool off a little bit. We've gone up 64%, and I do think we have a little bit more room to the downside to go. So in terms of that Z wave, we have got some potential to the downside. This hasn't really changed because our highs haven't changed, but I'll run through it again anyway. Let me just go grab this and move that over. I'll pull that up to the X wave right here. So our expectations are that this Z wave is going to be pretty deep. We are going to be looking for at least coming down towards this 618 right here. And it's going to be at least 24 cents. So we've got a bit of quite a bit of a broad range on this one to come down. It could be pretty brutal, but for the most part, I think if we were to look at this as a three-wave count in our Z wave, I think we're going to be on the higher side of this. And yeah, we could pretty much be between 26 and 22. I think we'd have to at least be 24. So I'm going to say 24 to 22 cents seems to be the obvious areas for XRP's retracement. So other than that, it does look pretty good for XRP. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm going to wrap up there. If you found it useful and informative, smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. Don't forget to join us in Discord. And if you're actively trading, why not check out BitGet? Until the next one though, guys, have a fantastic day.
We are not financial advisors, and none of what we have communicated verbally or in writing here should be considered as financial advice. It is not. Do your own research before investing in any digital asset or affiliate offers, and understand that investing in any crypto is risky. If you do, you need to be prepared to risk your entire investment. This video is for information and entertainment purposes only. All our videos are strictly personal opinions. Please make sure you do your own research and never take our opinions for financial guidance. There are multiple strategies, and not all strategies fit all people. Our videos are not financial advice.